All right, all right, all right. Actually, I'm gonna pull this out. Hold on. All right, listen, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Our live stream, our connection has been acting a little crazy. Y'all let us know if y'all can hear. Let us know if you can hear clear. Make sure everything is good and smooth. This is Into the Deep. All right, all right, all right. Good to see everybody. Listen, put your name in the comments. Let us know where you are watching us from. We're back with another season, another episode. The enemy you never saw was you. The enemy you never saw was you. If this is your first time, I want you to shout first time. I say welcome to you. Let's have a great and prosperous day. I want you to share this with somebody, put somebody on, let them know that we're here. I'm going to set up my tripod so I can see the comments because I'm not able to see them. So y'all forgive me for that. But I do want to be able to interact with you all and see what you all are saying. So set this tripod up. All right, Atlanta is in the house. Karen Myers, first time. Thank you. All right, here we go. Minnesota is in the house. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All right, I see y'all in the house. Listen, we're not going to wait for anybody because we want to do what we're supposed to do. We know our time is short because of that internet connections and so forth. But listen, everyone type in the comments, the enemy you never saw was you. The enemy you never saw was you. Put that into the comments real quickly. I am your host, Prophet Raheem Jabari Warren, and I'm truly excited. This podcast is really birthed out of healing from trauma. So our goal is to identify trauma to make sure that we know what it is that we're facing, but not pointing fingers at anyone else, but looking in the mirror. So one thing this podcast does, it challenges you to look yourself into the mirror and identify the wounds that you created by yourself. All right. So today begins one of the most important conversations of this entire season. I need you to listen with an open heart or open mind, understanding that this is not an attack, this is not judgment, but this is tools to get us to where we need to be to make sure we're where God has called us and purpose for us in our life. All right. This is not about your enemies. This is not about your ex. This is not about church hurt. This is not about betrayal. We're not going to deal with who left you. We're not going to talk about who stayed. But today, we're literally going to deal with you. The purpose of this podcast is dealing with you, dealing with the inner side of you, the side of you that you have developed off of survival. So that's what we're doing today. We are literally dealing with you. You always want to pray and ask God, Lord, do me first. Anytime you are petitioning God for anything, you want him to search you first. You want him to deal with you first. You must be the first mirror that you see, the first attack that you see. You got to deal with you first before we can do anything else. One of the greatest mistakes we make as believers is assuming that every battle is external. I want to deal with that for a moment. It's so amazing how things happen to us. And every time something happened to us, we always say it's an outside job. Somebody on the outside did it. But when have you ever stopped to think and ask yourself, was this an inside job? Have you ever asked yourself, is this what I'm going through as a result as to what I did wrong? And some of us don't want to deal with that part because it now deals with accountability. We keep rebuking devils. We keep rebuking witches. We keep rebuking principalities and enemies. But how many of you ever sat down and rebuked yourself? How many of you have ever had a moment to where you said, I've done something wrong. And what I'm going through now is the consequence of my action. It's the consequence of what I said. It's the consequence of the things that I did because I didn't want to trust God. A lot of us, we got to get to this place. And I want you to do me a favor. Tag somebody into the comments. I don't know if the connection is good. Is it moving smooth on y'all end? I want to make sure, and I want y'all to tag people in. Listen, I'm excited. I'm already in it. We have 8 points, and we're gonna get out of here. But I want to see your name in the comments. I can't see all of the comments on YouTube, but I can see the comments on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, do me a favor. Let's tag somebody into the comments. Let's share it. Let's tell somebody we're dealing with this, because I'm going to take this down once we're done. I'm going to make sure this comes down. But we're truly excited. All right. Talk in the comments. Let us know that this is actually registering to you. I didn't want to come close. Then I'm able to control the comments and so forth. All right, perfect. What I'm going to do, go this way here. Therefore, I could see. Well, God, we thank God for technology. Thank God for technology. All right. So, point number one, we're going to deal with point number one. Somebody shout point number one. Point number one. You were looking outward instead of inward. That's point number one. So we're going to deal with point number one. You were looking outward instead of inward. I went to Matthew 7:3-5, and it said, "And why thou beholdest thou mote in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam in thy own eye." Jesus, at that very present moment, he said something powerful. And what he said is, we can see pride in everybody else. We can see attitude in everybody else. We can see bitterness in everybody else. We can see manipulation in everybody else. But yet somehow we become blind to our own situations. We become numb to our own sin. We get amnesia on our own self. But it's amazing how we can look at somebody else and we can point out what they're going through and we can see what they're messing up at. But when it comes to your own life, when it comes to your direction from God, you have a problem identifying you are the one. Come on. We tell everybody else how to improve, but we can't tell ourselves what we're doing wrong. We can give advice to everybody else, but yet we don't have the capacity to speak to ourselves and show ourselves and watch this and reveal to ourselves what we've done wrong. We can tell everybody how they miss God, but yet you're complaining because you feel God has become quiet on you. So every now and then, you got to understand that if you keep going through relationships after relationships, every breakup is not because of your ex. No, he was controlling, she was controlling. She just ain't understand my ministry, or he was immature, or she was the problem. Now, some of those things people do have issues with. But if every situation you get yourself into, every relationship you find yourself in, and when it ends badly, you always got to say it was something they did. Have you ever, in any point of your life, stopped and said, I have to look on the inside of me because this is what's affecting what's coming out on the outside? No, you want to say, oh, he was toxic. No, no, were you toxic? Some of y'all like toxic relationships. We are going to be honest. Some of y'all like toxic relationships. Some of you all do not like calm relationships. You want, people to yell. Some of y'all like yelling and all that toxic and don't text my phone. Then when you don't text, why you ain't text me? People like that. But why you keep saying, oh, that person was toxic? No, you was. Because that's what you attract. You attract what you are. You attract what you do. So every now and then we got to find ourselves examining ourselves and making sure that what God said about us or what he feels or what he created, it's working. Y'all ain't tapping that screen. Y'all ain't tapping that screen. Come on here. Let's start letting people know we're here. I know we're past our time, but we want to let people know that we're here. Somebody shout point number 2. Now, here's a good point. I'm only gonna do 4 today because of our time, and I'm very cautious of time. But you'll be excited for next week. Point number 2: survival mode kept you distracted. The reason why you found yourself in a certain season is because you operated on survival mode. Survival mode kept you distracted. Because that it become who you were. Because watch this. Mark 5 tells us about a woman which had the issue of blood for 12 years. Think about it. She had 12 years of suffering, 12 years of disappointment, 12 years of trying to hold her life together. She had 12 years of going through a mental battle, a physical, spiritual battle. And if we're honest, many of us can relate, but just not physically. Financially, you've been bleeding for 12 years, and spiritually, you've been bleeding for 12 years. Relationship wise, you've been bleeding, but the woman survived. Here's the thing: she survived, but she was not whole. She survived, but she wasn't whole. She made it through those 12 years, but guess what? She was not whole. Just because you are surviving don't mean that you're whole. And that's what we got to get to understand when we're dealing with the enemy that we never saw. You got to identify that you are surviving, but yet you're still broken. Many of us are surviving, but we never healed from rejection. We never healed from abandonment. We never healed from divorce. We never healed from betrayal. We never healed from self-inflicted wounds. We survived it. Come on, you survived your divorce. You survived abandonment. You survived disappointment. You survived molestation and everything else come with sexual abuse. You survived it, but you never healed from it. Surviving is not healing. No, surviving is not healing. Here's an example. A man grows up in a home where emotions are ignored. He learns don't cry. He's taught, well, men does not show emotions. He's taught don't talk about your feelings, but be strong, handle it yourself. Don't ask nobody for no help. This is what he was taught. This is what he was raised. So people assume that he's healthy. People assume, watch this, that he has communication issues because he doesn't tell people when things are going wrong. Because the problem is he's surviving, but yet he's not whole because he has not allowed himself to go through a place where he dealt with his emotional state. I don't care if you do it by yourself. Every person has to have a moment where you check your emotions and allow your emotions to be healed. You survived, but you're not whole. You're not healed. No, somebody ought to tell somebody we're on here. Listen, so many of us, we have become so comfortable surviving that we don't even know how to heal. And I'm looking at the comments to check y'all names out. Survival has become your identity. Survival became who you are. The struggle became your identity. The crisis became your identity. These things you have taken on have become who you are. And now you're in a place where you're trying to identify that this person that you have become, you are now uncomfortable with this person. You are now uncomfortable with who you say you are. But the question I have to ask you is, when did you allow your pain to become your identity? Because you did not want to heal from what you had to watch this, exam and go through within yourself. Oh, I'm trying to make this make sense. The enemy you never saw was you. God never intended for survival to become your permanent address. 3 John, somebody may say 3 John, somebody may say 3 John, but 3 John 1 and 2 says, behold, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Notice God's concern isn't just your money. It is about your soul. He's concerned about your soul, not your career, your soul, not your ministry, your soul, not your marriage, but your soul. God is concerned about your soul because a successful life with a wounded soul is still a wounded life. Watch this. What profit a man to gain the whole world, but yet lose his soul? God is concerned about your soul, but yet we're concerned about validation. We're concerned about making sure they see us. We're concerned about pleasing people, but yet we're disobeying God. Yet we're not moving the way God tells us to move. But yet we want God to continue to bless us, but yet we cannot, yes, Lord, be trusted in even calling on the name of the Lord. Come here, Bible. Psalms 147:3 tells us he healeth the broken heart and binded up their wound. God doesn't just save us, but he heals us. Somebody got to understand that the enemy you never saw, it was you, but you're still in the way because you won't expose yourself to God. He don't just deliver us, he restores us. I know we want deliverance, but how many of you say, God, I want restoration? I know you want to be delivered, but God say, but I want to restore you. I know you want me to bring you out, but I want to make you whole. Come on here. You got to understand that your ways are not his ways. Your thoughts aren't his thoughts, but you got to deal with you. All right. I'm getting happy because I love talking about stuff like this. Number 3, we're only going to do 4. We're only going to do 4. Hey, Kendra. We're just talking, y'all. Point number 3. I don't want to be all up on the camera today. I want to have to stretch this far. Good to see you, Danielle. All right. Excuse me, y'all. Point number 3. You normalize dysfunction. You normalize dysfunction. That's why Isaiah 5:20, he said, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. We're just gonna leave it right there, Serenity. Good to see you. You normalize dysfunction. One of the most dangerous things that can happen to a person is becoming comfortable with dysfunction. Anything you tolerate long enough eventually feels like it's normal. Anything that you excuse long enough, keep giving excuses to this thing and this thing and this thing, watch this, it becomes acceptable. You start accepting it. You start wearing it. You start saying, this is me. You start saying, well, I've just become a new person. This is what I've developed myself to be. No, familiarity is very dangerous. Anything that you live with long enough, it eventually feels familiar. It feels so familiar to you to where you're in a comfortable place, and anything that pulls you out of this comfortable place, you call it a demon. You call it chaos. You say, you know what? God is not the author of confusion. No, what God is doing, he's removing you out of the place that you felt very secure, you felt very comfortable in. And because you felt comfortable there, you did not want to be stretched. You did not want to identify the part of you that made you comfortable, because the space that you're in made you comfortable, but you did not create that space. That's not the space for you. You walked into someone else's space. What God is saying for you is, when you identify the wound inside of you, you identify the trauma, you identify the attack, you identify the mirror, then you're able to, watch this, go into a place that nobody else has been in, because the identity is excuse me, your access is your identity. So the door you're standing in front of, God is saying the door is only going to open when the person that I registered to the face recognition shows up. The person that keeps showing up is the person who practice healing, practice strength. That's not the identity God gave you. The person that keeps showing up, you perform strength after strength. You understand how to smile when you're hurting. That's not the person God created. So that's why the door has not opened yet. That's why you now got to deal with the place that you normalize dysfunction. You got comfortable in dysfunction. It's normal to you. It's normal because this place right here, it feels good, but just because you live with it doesn't mean God approves it. The woman which had the issue of blood for 12 years, she lived with bleeding, but God did not approve it. Come here. We got to understand, just because you live with it doesn't mean that God's approval. Just because you've adjusted to it doesn't mean that it should remain. No, you got comfortable again. The children of Israel, they provided one of the greatest examples of this. When God delivered them from Egypt, he broke their chains. He opened the Red Sea. He destroyed Pharaoh's army. He performed miracle after miracle. But yet, when difficulty come, they wanted to return. They wanted to return because they wanted to go back to what was familiar. Anytime you are stretched, anytime you are going through something that's going to pull you out of your comfortable place, you want to go back to the place where you survived. That's why Exodus 6 and 3, he said, would to God we would have died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt. Think about it. They are free, but yet they wanted to go back to bondage. So many of you all are free, but yet you want to go back to rejection, go back to bondage. You want to go back to the place that was comfortable. No, I know he's cheating on me, but when I need something, he come through for me, but yet I still in this new relationship got to work my way through. No, you want to keep going back to what's comfortable. Some people have toxic environments, but some people, y'all leave toxic environments, but then you still got the toxic mindset. Your mindset is still toxic. You can leave an unhealthy relationship, but you can still remain emotionally attached to unhealthy patterns. One thing I understand about deliverance is that deliverance is a two-part process. And what that does is, Danielle, you leaving it and it leaving you. A lot of us, we may have left some things, but that thing have not left us. And we got to understand that a lot of times the church, the Christians, the saints of God, we keep calling self-control deliverance. No, you just mastered how to say no to it. No, you're not delivered from that. You've just practiced that so long to now you've established how to control it. You're not delivered yet until you are faced with that situation again, because God will test you. That's when you will truly identify your place of deliverance and healing, because then God will put you to a test. Point number 4. This is my last point, Danielle. I know y'all don't want to talk about this. I know y'all don't want to talk about this. What's today, Tuesday? On a Tuesday? Point number 4. You avoided accountability. You avoided accountability. Proverbs 12:15 says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. Nobody enjoys correction. Let me tell you something. I have a leader who I believe his love language is correction. And when I tell you I get corrected every day, no one enjoys correction. But when correction comes, it's preparing you for something that you really don't see along the road ahead. Nobody wakes up excited about being confronted. No, should nobody go to sleep talking about something? Ooh, I can't wait till tomorrow come because I'm going to deal with that situation. No, I don't believe nobody in their right mind likes hearing difficult truths or hearing somebody tell them the truth that's going to make them examine themselves. No. But the truth is, the enemy you never saw was often the version of you that nobody could correct. Excuse me. Somebody put that into the comments for me. The enemy you never saw was often the version of you that nobody could correct. Say it one more time. The enemy you never saw was the often the version of you that nobody could correct. King Saul is one of the greatest examples in the scripture because watch this. Samuel confronts Saul. Instead of taking responsibility, Saul immediately began explaining, blaming everybody else, defending himself, justified. He was excusing the people did it and the circumstances did it and my life did this and my situation was like this. Anything except I was wrong. He said everything but I was wrong. When do you get to a place in your life where you stop blaming everybody else and say, I messed up? I sinned. I was wrong. I lied. I cheated. I manipulated. I did it. Not because they provoked me, not because they did something I retaliated, but I did it. I was wrong. Because excuses have become our shield. Am I helping anybody? Excuses have become our shield. Excuses make you feel better. Accountability makes you better. No, I don't just want to feel better, Deja. I want to be made better. When you make an excuse, it makes you feel better. But when you hold yourself accountable, it makes you a better person. That's why Proverbs 27:17, our bishop is in Proverbs. He said, iron sharpen iron. No man sharpen the continuance of his friend. Sharpening is uncomfortable. Being sharpened does not feel good. Sharpening creates friction. Am I helping anybody? Sharpening, it removed dullness. Some of us, we have been so dull in our life that we don't want to be sharpened. Sharpening, it creates effectiveness. You got to be sharpened. Somebody shout, sharpen my tool. You got to be sharpened. Many people want growth without sharpening, but growth requires correction. Thank you, Deja. David repented. David repented. Saul defended himself. One became restored. The other one lost the kingdom. The difference wasn't a mistake. The difference was the response. We've all sinned and fall short of his glory. The difference was not the mistake. We're going to make a mistake. But the difference is, what is your response when you make that mistake? Are you holding yourself accountable? Hebrews, come here, Bible. 2:11 says, no chastening for the present seeming to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Correction does not feel good, but it produces good. Correction, it hurts your pride, but it heals character. One of the most powerful phrases you'll ever learn is, I was wrong. Not but, not here's what happened, not, oh, they did this, so I did that. No, you just don't understand. No, 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 no. I was wrong. I responded out of anger. I moved out of my emotions. I moved out of my feelings. I said what I shouldn't have said. I don't care what you did. I was wrong. Maturity begins when your excuses end. Maturity starts when you identify that you're no longer the excuse. When you keep making excuses, you then become the excuse. Y'all want me to give y'all two more? Or y'all want me to stop? If y'all want me to give you two more, shout two more. You got to ask yourself, who can correct me? Who has permission to challenge me? Who can tell me no? Who can confront me without losing access to me? Because if nobody can challenge you, eventually your blind spots will control you. Some of our blind spots exist because pain has become louder than wisdom. Number 5, watch this. Hey, Tyler, good to see you. Your wounds became louder than your wisdom. That's why Proverbs 4 and 23, he says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. One of the saddest realities in life is watching people lose opportunities because they never heal from previous pain. Pain has a voice, wound have a voice, trauma has a voice. And if healing never happens, those voices become much louder than wisdom. A woman was cheated on years ago. This is a story I remember. The betrayal devastated her. It broke her trust, damaged her confidence. It created fear. Years later, she met somebody who was healthy, had a good job, faithful, consistent, transparent. He was what she prayed for. But yet, every delayed text created anxiety. Every missed phone call created suspicious. Every disagreement became an argument. You know why? Because she isn't fighting her current relationship, but she's fighting the old wounds. The wound is speaking louder than the wisdom. And some of us got to understand that until you heal that wound, you're going to allow that wound to be your voice. And then you will not listen to wisdom or wise counsel or correction because your wound is now leading you because you never dealt with the enemy you never saw. Every correction felt like rejection to you. Every disagreement felt like abandonment. Every boundary felt like betrayal. You're in a season where every delay, it felt like you've been neglected. But when you get to a place where you heal that wound, not because those things were happening, but because pain is interrupting reality. How many of y'all can actually say, hey, I've went through this with pain. I've dealt with this in pain, but now I understand what God is doing. That's why Hebrews 12 and 15 tells us, he said, look diligently, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you. Bitterness doesn't stay contained. That's what you got to understand. If it troubles everything, bitterness, it tears up relationships, decisions, your thinking, it messes up your perception. Unhealed wounds, it distort perception, it tears up perception. It can cause people to see threats that's never there. It will make people sabotage healthy opportunities because you think somebody talking about you because they're looking at you while they're talking. Like that's crazy to me. Who said that my direction has to change because I'm having a conversation now that you're in the room? People you've done it before. Well, they must be talking about me because they're looking at me talking. What makes you so important that someone is holding a conversation about you, and now you just not feel like somebody don't like you, somebody is against you. Your wound became louder than your wisdom. Number 6. This is good, y'all. I like this. You confuse your attentions with your behavior. That was easy. You confuse your attentions with your behavior. Matthew 15 and 18 tells us, but those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart. One of the most dangerous lies people tell themselves is, I didn't mean it. I didn't intend to do that. That's not what I was trying to do. You lied. You lied. You're a liar. You lied. You meant every word that you said. You intended to do exactly what you did. Well, my intentions matter. My intentions don't erase it. No, 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 no. Intentions matter. And intentions cannot erase what happened. Well, my intentions was no. People experience your behavior more than they experience your intentions. People, you show people your behavior before you show them your intentions all day long. Well, that's not how it was supposed to come out. No, it did. It came out your heart. That's how you felt. Do we walk around with these excuses? Well, I meant well. I don't know why they upset. I meant well. Well, I was trying to help them, or I just didn't know. Come on. But the fruit tells us in Matthew 7:20, wherefore by the fruit ye shall know them. Jesus said that I don't know a tree by its intentions. I know the tree by the fruit that it bears. The fruit reveals your reality. Fruit reveals your health. Fruit reveals character. You got to understand that it's not in your intentions. Are you asking yourself, well, my intent was to start my business. It's my intentions to write the book. It's my intentions. But your behavior saying that you ain't even start your LLC or something. All right. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, what did I produce? Y'all want to talk about these bad relationships, but ask yourself, but what did I produce? Did I produce peace? Did, did I produce trusting in God in my household? What did I produce in the house? What did I bring? What did I bring to the table? Did I bring chaos from my past? Mixed with his past or her past, and now we just got a whirlwind of emotions? What did I do wrong? Have you ever asked yourself, what did I do wrong to cause me to be stuck and stagnant? I'm gonna go to point number 7. Chantel, can I do point number 7? I only had 8, but we here now. You surrounded yourself with agreement instead of correction. Everybody around you agree with your foolishness. I'm, I'm gonna be honest. Proverbs 27:6. He said, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend." Everybody loves encouragement. Everybody loves support. Everybody loves affirmation. Everybody loves to be clapped, but nobody likes correction. And you, my friend, now I sound like you hating against me because you telling me, no, you was wrong. I'm not gonna agree. You started the fight. You started the argument. Like, you was wrong. You said this to your husband, or you said this to your wife, or you lied, and you was wrong. You don't want those people around you, because again, those people create you to create a system and a space of accountability. One of the most dangerous things that can happen to a person is becoming surrounded by people who only tell them what they want to hear. Watch this. This is a real life example. A pastor builds a leadership team. Every sermon is amazing. Every decision is brilliant. Every idea is perfect. Nobody questioned nothing. Nobody asks no questions. Nobody say anything. But eventually, pride develops. Blind spots begin to grow. Mistakes begin to multiply. You know why? Because agreement replaced accountability. Because I agreed with you, even though I know that you're in error, I know that you're wrong. No one holds you accountable now. So you surround yourself with people that agree with, I'm gonna just go bust the windows out, or I'm gonna just say this, or I'm gonna just do this, or I'm gonna just make this post, or I'm gonna just spend all my money. Yeah. Who who is that one person in your group that will challenge your yes? That actually say, nah, that sounds crazy. Now, we're not gonna do that. No, you're not gonna do that. And if you do that, then I'm gonna separate myself from you because I don't indulge in stuff like that. You got to surround yourself with people who are balanced. Everybody is not against you. Everybody ain't your haters. Everybody don't want to. They just don't want to see me go nowhere. She been my friend all my life. Then why all of a sudden when I said I'm about to get married, why she did this? Somebody got to challenge something in your life if they say they're connected with you. Make sense? Ask yourself, who in your life actually can challenge you? Like today, who can challenge you? Who can confront you? Who can tell you that you're doing something wrong? Now, if you got that little attitude type of something, nobody, then you're dangerous. You are in a dangerous territory. I don't fool with you because if can't nobody say nothing to you, if can't nobody say this is what's wrong and this is what needs to be fixed without you getting offended, we got a problem. All right, listen. I think we did what we were supposed to do. But let me ask you a question. What if the enemy wasn't your coworkers? Wasn't your mama, wasn't your father, it wasn't your spouse, it wasn't communication. But what if your enemy was the way you talked? It was the way you loved. It was that you refused to heal. What if it was your fear of vulnerability? What if everything that you went through made you stop and identify that you were the attack, you were the wound, you were the victim? I need you to understand that, yeah, you may be the victim, but you're victorious. Can you deal with the part of you that you hid because you were afraid to reveal it to anybody? No. You gotta open that wound, you gotta open that door. You were looking outward instead of inward. Survival mode, it kept you distracted. You normalized dysfunction. You avoided accountability. Your wounds became louder than your wisdom. You confused your intentions with your behavior. You surrounded yourself with agreement instead of correction. So today I need you to identify, A, that's the part of me that I did not want to reveal. Come on, the enemy you never saw was you. You got to ask yourself, sit down with no distractions, nothing around you. Ask yourself, what have I been refusing to see within myself? What have I been blaming on others that God is actually trying to address within me? What wound has not been healed yet? Ask yourself, what still needs to be broken? What truth am I avoiding? What place of accountability that I don't want to hold myself accountable in? The greatest breakthrough happens when God changes you. Today, I want you to identify the areas in your life that need to be changed. Come on, the areas in your life that need to be shifted. So many of us, we want God to heal, we want God to restore, but can you be honest with God? So this is Into the Deep. The enemy you never saw was you. We'll be back next Tuesday, 12 noon. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Um, we have so many great things coming up and going on. We're going to make an announcement soon. I'll probably be back tomorrow to do a noonday prayer, but I'm excited for what the Lord is doing. I'll catch you all on next week.